unfortunate first topic, and that is our Pittsburgh Penguins have officially bowed out of the playoffs in the first round to the 4-seed New York Islanders 4-2. Oh, yeah. I must say this. You actually got a chance to experience a little bit of my fandom. Yeah, you did. I don't get to be a fan very often. I don't. Because with football, I'm very analytical. When I'm watching the game, I still watch it from that player's mindset, that player's viewpoint and things like that. So it's hard for me to go full fandemonium.
Sure.
Similar basketball, right? But with hockey, it's like, no, hockey, I could just be a full-on fan. And you saw as I was watching that game last night, and as it was going, started out, it was kind of cool, was excited. And then we had this stretch where your boy Tristan Jarry was, in the words of Coach Tomlin, below the line. And during that time frame, I sent you a nice little text message.
All caps, I think. 5 or 6 exclamation marks in a row. I could pull it up.
No. I mean,
I can't remember what you said.
It probably wasn't appropriate for YouTube.
Okay.
If this was XM, we'll get you. I was a little flustered.
You were upset.
Flustered.
Your boy Jarry's throwing the game or something.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah.
That's a nice way to paraphrase it.
It was along those lines. Did you forget I don't watch these games?
I did. I totally did. And this is why. I was in the middle of working out, right? Okay. Because I was like, all right, the game's about to come on. I typically like to work out when the game's on because it could take my mind away from the workout.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the workout, I'm just like so going on the workout and seeing the game that I'm just like, oh, it's like a rage machine going on. And the only person I could think to text the way I truly wanted to text.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I got my boys, but they're not digging the hockey like that.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. So I can't send that to them. And I was like, I had my other guys. I'm like, well, that guy's probably at work. I ain't gonna bother this person. They're not gonna really care about it to this extent. But I said, Deke.
Well, did you see? I bet that he was going to get a shutout. I bet $10. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just $10. But like, if he would have hit, that would have been $100.
That would have been dope.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
So you jinxed us then because the opposite happened. Thanks for the clarification. I appreciate you on that.
Yeah,
man.
Bet $10 going in. I was like, you know what? Jarry's going to bounce back, man. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I thought he was going to bounce back as well, but unfortunately, that was not the case. Unfortunately. That made my heart hurt. I even started making plans to go into the game on Friday. I was like, oh, look, man, they're going to win tonight. Take little G. We'll pull up to the game. It'd be a little fun experience. We've been watching this journey now.
Yeah, game 7. That would have been sweet.
Now I got to take them to a Pirates game. And did you see the debacle that just happened with them? They made headlines today as well. Not for the right reason. Yeah.
I know they let up 20 runs.
No. What? They got a clip that's going around on Sports Center everywhere. It's tweeted about this beautiful play where it should have been a routine 3rd out in the inning. Ball's caught. All right, cool, man. Throw it to first base, tag him out. The runner acts like he's going to start running back towards home plate. So now you get this little pickle situation, right? We're familiar with the pickle. We know how that goes with baseball where they're throwing it back and forth, right? So the guys...
This is from home to first.
Yeah, so he's already... So
this. So
listen, it went to the shortstop. Shortstop throws it to first base. Sure. First baseman never touches the bag. It's 2 outs. So I'm just like, first off, why don't you touch the bag? Because that is just baseball 1-on-1. They teach that in Little League. 2 outs, or even if it's 1 out, as long as there's no other threatening position, yeah, man, you catch it, tag the base, and you're good. He never tags the base. He starts jogging and laughing at the guy because the runner stops and starts jogging back, right? So now he's jogging, and it's a guy sitting on third base. But because the first baseman is just chilling, lollygagging, the guy on third base actually runs and steals home plate, gets an actual run. So now they're going crazy. The cat that actually hit the ball, he doesn't even take off right away to run. After the pickle happens and they see the guy score from third, he stops and gives a safe symbol. He's standing literally like the ball's right here. He can touch the guy with the ball. He's like, safe, he's good. Then he takes off to go to first base. The shortstop tries to cover first base. They throw the ball, miss the throw. So now he goes to second base. Man, it was just nuts. I couldn't believe it. So it should have been a routine 3rd out in the inning turns into a run and a double. It's crazy. I can't make this up, bro. You watching it just like...
Did they play today? Is that
versus the Cubs, yeah.
It was a day game.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, that's why I didn't see it.
Man.
Okay.
I was just sitting here like, are you for real? Like, just laughing like, man, we just had to endure what we endured last night with Jarry. And I was like, all right, can we at least turn the page? We know we got Steelers OTAs. That's fun, but we don't get to like actually watch it, right? So it's like, man, let me turn to the Pirates. And that's what they give me. I'm just like, done. Oh my gosh. Like, it was terrible, bro. Terrible.
There's no chance they're winning the division. There's no chance they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
The only hope that you have, and I don't know when the hell he's supposed to come back, because I thought he was supposed to come back for a month now, is Brian Hayes.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like the next stud for the Pirates. He could be like the next McCutchen. Maybe that would at least been interesting. If he was on the roster, we could see his development. Yes. Maybe he could win Rookie of the Year or something. He's not even back. Bro. So
it is so bad.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
It is
with
so
the Bucks.
bad. And the problem is, we know, like, we've seen this happen so many times where, and I don't even like when we go around this road with the Pirates, because we say the same thing. Man, we know, okay, they're not going to spend any money. They're going to cut corners. Once a guy gets good, they're just going to move him for unproven prospects and hope for the best. But we know at the end of the day, they're not going to be competitive. And like, it just sucks, man, because I try to get into it, man. Like I said, I like Rich Rod. I like him. My son, we like watching him, but I just don't like watching it's just embarrassing at times, baby.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, man.
Yeah, when the pitching's good, there's no hitting. When the hitting's maybe halfway decent,
which is
10 runs.
Yeah. And it's like it's never a okay, it was 1 or 2 runs. It's always like a 3 or 4 like run thing. When it goes bad, it goes really bad in a hurry, man. But that's why we don't talk Pirates on this show, man. And we barely talk Pens. But once again, man, I was just really sad about that Pens game, man, because it has such promise. But the goaltending, man, we gotta improve it.
Now, can I give not a rebuttal on Jarry?
Yes.
He didn't play good yesterday, but
I still, there's certain things I liked about him though in that game.
Yeah, there always is, because he does have that talent. I mean, there were still plays though. The defense just gives up these crazy passes, or they just blow by the defense. Like, I would say 2 of those goals legitimately Jarry. Like the slap shot from the blue line, you're out of position. I don't know how that went in. And then there was the one that went 5-hole. Like, those were soft. The other ones, I mean, you would like to see Jarry save them, just because it's the playoffs. You'd like to see those crazy good saves by goalies. Like, whenever a goalie's on a hot streak, sometimes they just look possessed. They're going to save everything. But, man, I don't know if you could put all those on Jarry. The first 3.
I don't feel like you can. I don't think you put all of them on. I just feel like that span wasn't in the second or whatever, when that 3 goal in like 2 minutes or a minute happened. That's the part where I'm just like, if you're Jarry, you have to make a stop somehow, some way during that time frame. You can't give up 3 goals in a span of 90 seconds, because it might have been less time than that, but that can't happen. You literally had a 1-goal lead, not even talking about how we kept going up and they kept tying it. Not even going that route in a playoff eliminator game. When you get a 1-goal lead multiple times, like, you have to build upon that, like, regardless of what's going on around you. And the contrary was this. You look at Sorokin. We talked about him the other day. We said he could be the kryptonite. He got a little
lucky, I'm not going to lie, yesterday.
You say he got lucky, but every time he's been in net versus us, he looks like that. He makes a ton of saves. The guy that we had all our success against during the regular season and the 2 postseason games that we won were against Varlamov. And to me, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to see Sorokin in that and think that, could this be a Andre Fleury, Matt Murray scenario where Varlamov is the guy who's had the shutouts, is the more decorated guy, but you got this young guy who's coming in and playing hot. We saw that story and it worked out for us in a great way. But it felt like we were watching that story play out from the other end this time, man. And that's, to me, I was just like, gosh, this is a bad feeling. Even when we called a timeout, I was like, yo, we got a timeout. We're going to switch goalies. It's like, nah, put him back out there. I'm just like, gosh. But that was the part I did like about Jarry, though. When we did call the timeout, he did come out there and play well from then on.
Yeah.
But the damage had already been done, though.
Here's what I will say, though. I mean, we were only down 5-3 in the third period. And this is why I think their goalie was a little bit lucky. But it goes back to what I was saying about Jarry. I don't know if you could just put it all on him. Sometimes you're up against a team where this goalie's just hot and some of the breaks go their way. Because if you're going to replace Jarry with another goalie, does that necessarily mean we win yesterday's game? I don't know about that.
Well, I beg to differ now. I feel like if, Casey DeSmith was healthy, it would have been different.
No, well, he would have started yesterday.
Exactly.
I think that's the thing. Yeah. Like, that would have been the play. Like,
right.
Yes,
but
so
you're saying replace, like, in game. I'm talking in general.
He should have started yesterday.
Yes, if DeSmith was healthy, but he's not healthy. That's my thing. So when you say, do you think it would have been different if Jarry wasn't in net? My answer is yes. I do feel like it would have been different. I feel like it would have been very, very different. I feel like at times in this series, Jarry pressed. He tried to do a little bit too much. You look at the past 2 games, not even the game that we just lost, right? The eliminator, but to think about how we lost the game before that.
That was 2 of our own goals, though.
But no, I get that. But think about how it ended, though. How did it end? Jarry trying to be a little bit spectacular, right?
Oh, that was terrible.
Okay, and then what happened after that, right? Not only do you try to be spectacular and you turn it over, but then you act like you're Bambi at the beginning scene. You can't walk. You're like when the ice get that slick, you falling all over yourself. Like that to me, yes, I feel like if a different goalie is in that doesn't happen. I felt like because of how well Sorokin was playing, Jarry started to press. Jarry started to feel the pressure of, well, this guy is playing out of his mind. I need to try to match him. And it looked like that. And ultimately, we got the results that we were getting from that. Man, it was frustrating to me to watch, though, man.
My point is, though, in terms of the goalie on the Islanders getting a little lucky, Crosby hit a post. Yeah. We had Kapanen just scorch their whole defense and come down, beat the goalie, and randomly their defender puts his stick out in front of the net and saves it. So, like, that's 2 goals right there. That should have been 5. And I swear to God, the beginning of that third period, we had a good 4 or 5 good chances.
We definitely
but then the
did.
Islanders starting to balance it out, and then we got that shitty penalty to kind of close it out.
That's how the Islanders play, though, right? The Islanders, they weren't some team like the way the Pens won this year. We score the puck. We did a great job of scoring. Our defense and power play throughout the season, we talked about, was very inconsistent. At times, we would talk about how bad the power play was, right? But then you think about the Islanders in contrast. They don't score a lot. They have great defense. They pack it in. If you get a lead on them early, typically you're going to be fine for the rest of that night. If they get a lead on you early, it's going to be a rough night because they play really good defense. So when they went up 5-3, you're talking like, oh man, it's only 2 goals. I'm like, bro, this is a team that doesn't give up goals. Like, you're going to need to score 3 goals in the third period to beat this team. I just didn't see it happening, man.
Understood. Yeah, we didn't score, but man, that one that hit the post goes in. The one that I was talking about with Kapanen, we don't get that 4-minute penalty at the end of the game.
Oh my God, I forgot that one. Yes.
I didn't actually see it happen. I was still trying to find it, but all I saw was him having blood. It looked like he took a flop, but
it was funny because to me, Gensel, I thought he flopped on his when he drew the penalty. He was like, got hit in the eye, falling around. I'm like, all right. But then with that one, the dude was leaking. So I don't know what he hit, but his forehead was split though. His forehead was definitely split.
Yeah.
But I watched it. I don't know how it happened.
Live. Yeah, exactly. It didn't look bad at all. I can't even remember how it happened. I was just like, wow, this is bullshit.
Yeah, but I just remember when he got up leaking, I'm like, all right, we're stuck here. But going to this chat real quick, I was laughing because as I'm reading some of these comments, John Doe, he said that they said that Jarry is an amputee because he lost his glove hand. And I was chuckling because I'm thinking about how many of those went to the glove side. I mean, it got to one point, man, where they just looked like they had elite level confidence versus Jarry. They were just, oh man, I'm gonna do whatever, like crazy. But when you have a team like the Islanders who got hot like they did, and that's the thing too, we've talked about this where I always bring up the Steelers and Browns, right? Because those were the 2 prime examples of how we can get hot or another team get hot in a hurry and kind of make the game get out of control, right? Game get out of hand. With the Islanders, I felt like everything was going smooth until that 3-goal spurt happened. And that's when everything did get out of hand. And it just felt like it just happened so quick. Like, we go from being up to tied to Lord. What's happening? It's not good, man. Small Deke energy. That's what we call that.
Yeah, it's disappointing just because I think that team is still really good. They may be the most talented team in the NHL outside of the goaltending, maybe even outside of the defense a little bit. Mm-hmm. So to see them go out like that, it sucks, man. It definitely sucks because it seems like just another wasted year with Crosby. Although he's got 3 cups. Like if you're playing out if you're playing out his career,
absolutely
3 cups is pretty damn good.
Yeah, no question.
What Gretzky's got 4. Mm-hmm. What Lemieux's got 2. I don't know how many Yager has. He has 2.
Now how many? Now he's only been to 3 too, right?
Yeah. Or no, 4. He went one his early. It was the year before we beat the Red Wings. We faced them the year prior and we lost.
Okay.
And that was when I don't know if you know anything about Hossa.
I don't.
We traded for him just like we traded for Jeff Carter.
Okay.
And he was a big part of our run. He was really good at the time. This was like the prime of his career. And then he was a free agent that offseason though. He went to the Red Wings, and then we beat him the next year, though. So he didn't win a cup. He ended up winning one with the Blackhawks later on, but
I like it.
he's been to 4, won 3.
I was gonna say I am glad you brought up Jeff Carter. I still like him.
Yeah, we got him for one more year. That was a great trade. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. As much as I love that. I
love that move, man.
Wasting another year of Crosby, Malkin, this core together. It feels like wasting that trade because that trade was amazing.
Dude, since he's been here, you think about how many goals he scored in the regular season and in the postseason. Like, this dude was on fire. Mm-hmm. I mean, he kept it going, like, throughout. Super consistent. That's the part where you feel like you said, man, you wasted a year or you left one out there because this team, it just looked like they could do it based on the talent they had and based on the pieces like Jeff Carter who could come in and they were scoring the way that they were scoring, getting Malkin back, him being healthy. You just felt like, okay, it's going to happen. And then to just see at one point something that we viewed as a strength at times. We talked about the goaltending and how at times Jarry and DeSmith were just elite during the season. To see that was the part that ultimately made the wheels fall off, that it just hurts a little bit more.
Yeah.
But man, shout out to the Pens, man.
I think the thing about Jarry I'm trying to get to is like, I don't know what else someone wants the Penguins or Mike Sullivan to do different. Yeah. Because DeSmith was hurt. I do agree if DeSmith's healthy, just with how the series played out, you got to give DeSmith one of these starts.
You have to
spot him.
You would have to do it. Absolutely.
As much as I want to say, not all this is on Jarry, you just got to give like an in-between type of thing. Give Jarry a blow and see what DeSmith can do. Yeah. Because who knows, DeSmith might maybe went on a Sorokin type of run. You don't know. I like Jarry better, but he's proven he can go on a 2 or 3 game
But this is my thing also. I thought that when you talked about those two guys during the season, I thought that, man, when Jarry was struggling early on, he picked up his play when DeSmith came in and started to play well. We talked about that, and it was like the back and forth. Knowing that DeSmith wasn't going to be available, I thought that maybe he took his foot off the gas. Could that have been there, right? Because you talk about how a guy that was playing well gets to the postseason, and now the guy that you've been going back and forth with, he's not going to be in this series at all. Maybe you relax. Maybe you say to yourself, well, hey, I got this. I don't have to worry about them pulling me. Until it happens, and now you're like, dang, man, maybe we wish we did have this guy. Maybe he should have felt a little bit more urgency out there. But as a whole, that wasn't the case.
Because we won those 2 cups. Yeah. You could correct me if I'm wrong on this, with Murray and Fleury.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Fleury coming in, he would have a run, but then he'd go a game or two where he'd let up some really shitty goals. You bring in Murray, and then Murray would be locked down. Like, that's kind of the name of the game if you need it. Like, if you don't have that one goaltender that's just completely going off.
Yeah, you have the guys you rotate.
Yeah, absolutely. You could rotate, and that's part of it. We just didn't have that. Yeah. Like, actually, just DeSmith being injured kind of screw us. I don't want to... Like I said, Jarry didn't play good, but what do you want the Penguins to do different? Like, us getting rid of...
Time out. You weren't feeling... was it Legacy?
Here's the thing.
You didn't want to go that route?
If you lose with him in that, that's way worse.
Yeah, I agree.
That's way worse.
It's unacceptable. You can't do it. you got to go down with Jarry. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah, you just go down with Jarry. Yeah. But like, us losing Fleury, I don't think anyone was against that decision at the time.
Yeah.
Now we don't have Murray, and obviously he had a way worse season with Ottawa, and now we're with Jarry, who had a pretty solid season. Like, he had a really rough start, but I think he turned things around as
now. How confident are you with Jarry going forward?
That's the question. I don't know how,
because I see in the chat some people, they think that he's done. Some people think that they need to move on. He's still young. That's the thing. He's still a very young player. That was his second real. Well, actually, I felt like it's really his first playoff experience, because last year doing the hub bubble playoff, he only had 1 game. And we knew the situation he went into. So
he only let up 1 goal, didn't he? Did they lose 1-0?
Was that
2-1?
It was 2-1, something like that last year. But that was literally his only game in the postseason. So I personally would like to see him get another opportunity. But I want to see, if you don't think that Casey DeSmith is good enough to roll with him, right? At least bring in somebody a little bit more high end or a little bit more seasoned that you feel confident, hey, this guy's either going to push him, challenge him, or at least make him feel like he has to bring his A game every time.
I'm not opposed to bringing DeSmith back. He impressed me, actually. I thought he played pretty solid throughout the season whenever he got the opportunity. So if we bring him back, he just needed to be healthy, really. That was it. I wouldn't be opposed to just running it back completely next year. Just improve the defense somehow, some way. I don't know how. Some way. Because I don't know how you judge that. It's stuff's so hard to judge for me. Man. You know what I mean? Like, who's lost the speed? Yeah. Who's still good at defense? Obviously, the tank stats are good, but how good is he actually defending? I don't know. Those are tough. Yeah. That's not my expertise.
So do we keep the band together?
Yeah, you got to run it back for the most part.
That's the other question. That's the other question. I've been seeing that float around. Do you keep the group when you talk about Sid, Malkin, Letang? Do you keep them together or do you move one of those guys? We obviously know Letang was talked about being, potentially moved earlier on before obviously they made the switch from a GM standpoint, but even more so now when you talk about Hexie, when you talk about Burke, those guys, I mean, we know how they operate. They don't have those necessarily same level of ties and loyalty to this roster as it currently is. So for me, I'm like, I could see it happening, man.
Letang, if any of them.
Yeah, definitely be Letang. Yeah,
I say you run it back with how the offense is, though. Because what were the problems with the offense? Actually, if anything,
they scored the puck well.
They did. The first line did sputter a little bit in this Islander series. I think Crosby only had 2 points.
Yeah, he was another guy that people asked about. Like, do you feel like Crosby could have done more? We talked about Malkin, and obviously when he came back, he was still very productive. He still
had 5 points or something.
Wasn't 3? Was it 3 or 4 games he played?
3 or 4 games, yeah.
So yeah, he came in off the injury, productive, did everything right. But with Sid, like I said, man, I feel like if he was any other player, it's a different conversation. But because it's Sid, right? Kind of when we talk about Ben, the expectations surrounding those players are higher than everyone else. It's not okay to just do the bare minimum or to just do your quote unquote job. We expect that greatness, that elite play and productivity associated with it. Now, I don't think that it was all on him because I did think that at times he was setting people up well and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
But at the end of the day, the productivity was not there. So yeah, what were your thoughts on that, man?
I think you just got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he still had a really good regular season, in my opinion. 2 points in this series. Like you said, I don't know. I thought he was still making impact out there. He hit the post in this last game. I swear he had another shot. Man,
he shouldn't have hit the post. Oh,
I swear he had another shot. I
forgot all about that
really
one.
Close to going in. So yeah, no, I don't know what the question. Like, do we move on from Crosby? Like, how much blame does he get for this?
I think more so how much blame. More like because some people are trying to say
people are just saying all on Jarry, which I don't agree with. Well, he had his fair share though.
But that's what got people to start talking more about guys like Sid. Because it's like, well, if we're only going to talk Jarry, like, what about the stars? What about the bigger name guys? What were they doing? And that's where obviously Sid comes into play because he is the star, but at the same time, the productivity was not there. Now, obviously, it was multiple variables in it, but at the end of the day, it wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go that far. My probably main 2 or 3 culprits for this series is the Islanders getting lucky a little bit. Now, whenever I say that, I'm talking about some of the things with the goalie yesterday. That's kind of what dude, I'm telling you, man, like, I couldn't believe it.
You said his luck. I said that's Barry Trotz actually being smart for once in a while. Because remember, we talked about at the beginning, right, where they were they wanted to go back to Varlamov, right? And he was talking about how this is his guy, this is his goalie, 17, I forgot, 7 shutouts or whatever, something like that. And ultimately, he's the reason why they're in the position that they are to be in the postseason. So he was bent on having this nice rotation of goalie, right? And obviously, we talked about how we had their number. But to see Trotz just stick with Sorokin throughout the rest of it, to me, that's why it's like, I wouldn't even consider that luck, because if he goes to being hard-headed or going to what he wanted to do, what he had already said he wanted to do, yeah, we know it's going to be a different outcome. But him actually going with Sorokin and keeping the guy that, like he said, had got them there on the bench, that it's hard for me to call that luck. Because it's like once he's there, we know he's a really good player.
I'm not saying that's all it, because the second part was I was going to say is the good goaltending. Mm-hmm. What I mean by luck is I think we outplayed them these past couple games. We completely outplayed them.
We definitely did. Oh my gosh, we definitely did.
What I mean is we missed these opportunities. I don't think that's completely all on the goalie playing so well. It's just some bad breaks that went against us. So a little bit of luck with that. Like the hockey gods were in the Islanders' favors. But yes, good goaltending. They got a goalie in the right spot. He's hot. Yeah. And then, Jarry and some of these defensive lapses. I think those are the 3 main things that had to do with us losing.
Feels like you're right, man. Let me see if
I think so.
See what the people got to talk. Let's see what the people are saying, man, about Mr. Jarry, Mr. Malkin. All right.
Am I getting my games reversed? Which one was the one where we lost 4-1? Was that the most recent one?
4. Was that game 4? No, that was game 5.
Let me look.
Yeah, because game 5 we got worked, and then no. Game 5 we lost in overtime with the bad play. Game 4 was the one where we got smashed 4-1.
So yeah, the last 2 games we outplayed them for a fact.
Yeah, but that's why in game 5 we were all pissed with Jarry, because we thought we outplayed them throughout, and then to see it.
Well, that was one of my questions. Like, too, I think in that game people were more pissed on Jarry just with that pass.
Yeah, that was it.
Goalie play.
The rest of the play was fine, but that ending part, that was just, it was bad.
That's bad.
It was really bad.
But that's the multiplier, man. Like,
yes, it was so
because
bad,
outside of that, dude,
he's just having bad moments. That's the problem. Like, you can't have bad moments.
You could point to the 4-1 loss, but 2 of those goals were us scoring on ourselves, and then that bad pass. Like, if you combine the series, he didn't have the best series, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be right now.
Bad moments at the wrong time. That is the best way to sum it up.
Combined with probably his worst game being in the elimination game.
Yeah, fair enough. And it looks like Anthony Georgina says the Penguins just need to get another goalie. John Doe, I was definitely against giving Fleury to the expand. Oh, are you talking about that? All right. Oh, because people were talking about
call, though, dude. Yo, there's no way Fleury wasn't playing that good, and he was the backup goalie. He was. Murray could have been like the franchise goalie for us.
But because when he went out to Vegas, how good he looked, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's hindsight. Like, he's actually legitimately playing his best hockey out there, and he's like 37 years old.
Like nobody anticipated that. At the time, we thought Matt Murray was going to be our Sorokin. We thought that he was going to take over and be
It was actually the perfect way to get rid of Fleury, because it wasn't like we're cutting you or trading you. It was like, this expansion team wants you, sorry, and we're not going to, what was it? You had to pick 8 guys.
Yeah, and they could just,
and you're not going to pick Fleury at the backup goalie at that point. You just weren't doing that.
Absolutely. It is funny though. Hindsight 2020. It does look bad.
There's no way. That's a bull call.
Should have been Letang. Oh God.
Well, I don't remember who the top 8 were, but you got to think at that time who was the top 6.
Trying to think. Had to be Sid, Malkin, Gensel, Letang. That's 4 right there. Was Rust in that mix?
I don't know who was on that
because
team.
I'm trying to think back. That was 6?
Kessel.
17?
Kessel was probably kept.
Yeah. But then they moved Kessel. Was it the next year or the following year they moved him?
They traded him, but so that's 5 right there plus Murray. That's 6. So 2 other players. You're probably keeping whatever 2 other players versus backup goalie who looks like he's declining.
Very true.
There's no way.
Yeah. Hindsight 2020, yes.
Unless he has a rebuttal.
I'm looking through. Let me check real quick.
I'd be interested.
You know how the chat gets though, man. It gets real dicey here sometimes, man. A lot being said right now.
People are on the pen stock.
Yeah. Well, they in there because we had some Islanders fans in here, and then I had to go Bruins. Yeah, it was all crazy. I like your post though.
What one?
They getting clapped next round anyways. Let's get it. I love that energy. Let's go.
Well, what the funniest part about that is because we were both ripping on Claypool's comments. It's like, bro, you can't do that.
But it's perfect right now, man.
But it was like, dude, this is too good of a meme not to use.
Yeah, that was beautiful right there, man. All right, so let's see. Also, but John says no hindsight. He thought that we should have kept him, Fleury.
What you would have kept Fleury and Murray? Is that what he said?
Hey, John Doe, tell us, man. Are you saying that you would have kept both of those guys, Fleury and Matt Murray at the time, or would you have got rid of Murray? Because you weren't going to keep both of them with that top 6 in terms of just the players you're going to reserve and things like that. So that's going to be interesting though. Let's see.
I'll be interested what he says because I swear.
Oh, this is what he says though.
All right.
He says Murray was the equivalent of Nick Foles taking over for Philly that year. Remember when they won the Super Bowl?
Didn't we win 2 cups though with him?
But he wasn't the first one was Murray. The first one was Fleur.
Are you sure?
Oh, you don't think so? The second one, yes. The second one is Murray for certain. But that first one, I felt like I was still Fleury, man.
Didn't Fleury get us there? But then he started collapsing.
Yes,
Murray played in the finals.
Yes, that was the Murray showed up then, and we all were like, okay, who is this young kid? He looks really good. And the joke was, I think, was he 21 at the time? Or was he?
Was young.
He might have been younger than that because that was the thing. Like, oh, man, he's about to win a cup and can't even go to the South Side to celebrate. But yeah, I feel like the second one was him. But that first one, I still felt like that was still Fleury right there, man. Because he did the heavy lifting. That's probably the best in terms of what the Islanders have right now, in terms of Varlamov and Sorokin, right? Sorokin taking over really in this postseason time frame. To me, that first one was still Fleury's show, though, man. It's still a show.
The second
was definitely Murray.
That's big, though. For that dude at that point. So
but he says he thinks that Murray
cups.
was like Nick Foles. And he says he didn't believe in Murray ever.
Okay.
Wow.
Murray was good in those finals. Like, wasn't he insane?
I thought he was. We were loving him.
Like, this is probably the most
how
I've
young
been paying
he was.
attention to hockey.
Yeah.
So I missed I'm not gonna say I missed those finals.
No, see,
for those
now
runs.
See, for me, I remember those.
I was just
heavy.
watching from a distance. Though.
I remember those heavy because we were actually. That's when we were playing as well. So we were like, "Yo, they're trying to win one. We need to win one." When they won the first, we were like, "Yo, we got to go and get this one." So yeah, that. But dang on,
these are bold calls.
That is very bold. It's very, very bold, man. Gosh, a lot of people's. Yeah, let's see right here. I'm trying not to butcher your name. Lycothrope HD. I think that's how you say it. Lycothrope HD. It says that Fleury played that season though. In terms of that year, the first one, right? And he did do most of the work. John Doe's agreeing with that. All of us would agree with that. Yeah. So I got to give the first one to. They say first one goes to Fleury, even though Murray stepped up in the playoffs. Second one though can be his. That can be his. He's the man for that one.
Wasn't Murray the guy that closed?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Fleury got us there, man. Stop that.
Wait. Hold on.
That, man.
You'll like this comparison.
Oh gosh.
If you want to bring up Foles, was Fleury once in that scenario? Dude, come on.
You sick, bro.
I'm just saying.
You're sick, man.
Ask Eagles fans who they look more highly upon, Foles or Wentz.
You ask. Yeah, I mean,
I don't need to ask. We know.
Jeez,
Foles got them that chip, dude.
I like Foles because you know what they call Foles.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also has big energy.
Not anymore. Just literally two random seasons with the Eagles.
You know, I mean, it was enough. He has a Pro Bowl and he has a Super Bowl.
Oh, that is enough for an NFL career. Yeah. That's a great NFL career.
It's a MVP too, right? Am I correct?
Yeah,
yes. So, I think he's good, man.
Oh, that's a great NFL career. It's actually a great story because had that 27, 28 touchdowns to like one pick with the Eagles that one season.
Yeah.
And then just completely fell off the face of the earth. Was like on the Rams for a little bit. He was terrible. And then the Eagles pick him back up as a backup.
I remember with the Rams too. That was the year we played them out in St. Louis and they burnt the turf doing all this like crazy wacky stuff.
Oh yeah, Vic came in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely remember them.
Yeah, it's a good career for him though. I mean, it's interesting at least. I just wouldn't want him as my quarterback right now.
That makes
sense. For some reason, I don't know, that crazy ass playoff run. I mean, him and Flacco are the two like outliers over the past like 20 years we've seen.
Man, I low key am tempted to throw Eli in there as well, just because.
Ooh,
but I know he got the regular season, but all right.
I know.
All right.
But 2 times.
Right.
At least he did it twice.
He did it twice, but
at least he did it twice.
But it's very. You tell me how big of a difference it is. Like the 2 times is what separate him from those guys, but I feel like they're all in that little mix together. Even though it's funny that
I would say Eli's a Hall of Famer.
But why? If Eli's name is Joe Flacco, is he a Hall of Famer? Because the Manning, we've had this conversation before as well.
Oh, no,
if Eli Manning
was on the Giants, no.
I'm saying if Eli Manning is named anything different than Eli Manning, are you sitting here right now saying he is a Hall of Famer? I don't personally think that you would.
With what happened, those 2 Super Bowl runs, I would, dude. Like that was just a part of that decade of football. Like you can't go back and write the history of the NFL and say like Eli wasn't one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks at that point. Maybe not stats wise or anything, but like you would just want him in a game that matters. I think you got to give that to him.